the Trump campaign withdrew.
I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know good and well, had this been one of
conspiracy theories have now
us,
clearly,
and I'm gonna keep saying it, and I don't care who don't like it. Why they ain't shot that man down by now?
Moment we are seeing playing out.
He in there kicking. Look at him. Why he ain't been shot down by now?
Been deployed to assist U.S. Capitol Police.
That don't make no sense.
There are now concerns about those.
That don't make no sense.
Will be held responsible in a criminal way. I also want to bring back in Jeffrey Rosen, who's president of the National Constitution Center, and Jeff. One of the ideas that people have discussed in watching this is part of the U.S. Code about seditious conspiracy and about what has led us to this moment. Can you walk us through what is at the heart of seditious conspiracy?
Seditious conspiracy occurs when two or more people conspire to overthrow or put down by force the government of the United States in any state or any part of the United States subject to its jurisdiction. So this law has been used to prosecute Puerto Rican nationalists, white supremacists, Islamic terrorists in the 1990s. Those have been the most recent uses of that law. I've just reread the text. The conspiracy doesn't even have to succeed. Even if it's attempted, it can be charged. And I have not researched this or read the case law, so this isn't a carefully considered opinion. But the text of the law, which forbids two or more people conspiring to overthrow by force the government of the United States, arguably applies to this case.
Jeffrey Rosen, thank you as always for your brilliance and
they got people
with us.
In
and just one more point on that, on the idea of seditious conspiracy and what you just laid out. Do you imagine that's something that someone could be charged with?
Well,
they hollering USA. This ain't USA.
Decision. It would be under the Department of Justice, the new
BSS,
led by Merrick Garland, who's just been nominated today,
that's
could bring those charges. They would have to decide which members of the mob to charge and how they conspired together. But it would be a federal charge. And
my question is, how in the hell did they get that close?
The U.S. government.
And then, Jeff, as you watch all this, your thoughts?
He had a loss for word.
Passion and the gravity of your reaction as you watch them are those that I share and all citizens share. This is not America, and we must cleave to the Constitution and the rule of law as a shining light. Abraham Lincoln gave the most moving speech to the Springfield.
This guy is still trying to kick this window in. Why he ain't been shot down by now?
Then we run the risk of succumbing to mob rule and abandoning the rule of law. Let's reread Lincoln's speech to those people in Springfield, set aside our partisan differences, and realize that without the Constitution and the rule of law as our lodestar, everything that makes America a beacon of light and liberty will be imperiled.
What is that he got in that backpack?
Those words will be incorporated by some of our leaders as they address this moment. I should let people know that we are expecting to hear from the President-elect Joe Biden at this moment. We have heard from the leading Republican in the House of Representatives, Kevin McCarthy, who condemned the violence and said he had spoken with the President of the United States, President Trump, and asked him to condemn the violence. But we've not heard President Trump come before the American people on camera. We've not heard from the Vice President on camera. They have sent
Looks
some
like they're doing
comments
selfies and videos.
After earlier addressing this crowd of tens of thousands, they have not yet come forward to address them again and ask them to stop the violence against our United States Capitol. The DC Fire Department says 5+ people have been transported to the hospital. The woman who we showed you earlier who was shot, she is in critical condition and is at a nearby hospital.
Wow.
We've shown you the pictures of people crawling up the sides of the U.S. Capitol. Someone
Sorry about my shaking, y'all. This is so upsetting, and I'm trying to hold this phone.
We're also told of someone suffering from cardiac arrest at the U.S. Capitol. No further details from that. You are also witnessing images, some of which we showed you earlier, of members of Congress and lawmakers huddled on their knees, some praying, some with gas masks over their head, waiting, huddling as the doors were breached or almost breached in the House.
How you
and
gonna
Senate
almost
chambers,
reach the
which no
doors
doubt
like that?
provoked what I
Seriously?
think was one of the most powerful interviews that I've ever been engaged in with the House Minority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, who condemned the comments of Rudy Giuliani earlier today, when Rudy Giuliani,
Look at these
once
people.
America's mayor, who
Ducking.
incited this crowd earlier by saying
Pray.
it's time to have trial by
That's
combat.
right, sister. Pray.
Those words were clearly ingested, digested, and have now
Been acted upon to desecrate the Capitol, to seek to occupy it, and to commit criminal acts in the name of patriotism. That's what this is about. People who are, as you said, Nora, imbued with this idea that there is something larger they're fighting for, when they are acting in the smallest possible way, a criminal way, to attack the Capitol, occupy it, and violate federal law in full public view, in pursuit of something they consider to be lofty. The things that you pursue are lofty. The Constitution, the rule of law, what the American Republic stands
Some
for.
people trying to get
That
in
which
there.
you are doing
Now that don't make no
desecrates
sense.
you in full public view.
And as we've been reporting, the National Guard.
Y'all, I'll be back. Let me go ahead and cook my meals.
National Guard have been
Y'all
approved
got.
by the Pentagon.
I gotta cook
by,
dinner,
request by
but
DC Mayor.
y'all
Ed's
have to
reported
tune
that the
in and
National
watch
Guard
this
from
and be
Virginia,
aware of why it is so
Maryland's
important that we be
governors have
involved
activated also,
in politics
FBI getting involved.
and things that are going on,
point, it
voting,
would
making
be
sure that your voice
beneficial
be
for
heard,
all
and your voice
concerned
is
if we
heard
were
every
before
time
nightfall.
you vote.
Yeah,
And now
there's
this is the
already some
result
conversation
of
underway about how
people
exactly
actually
we
listening
begin to
and
restore
actually
order and
voting,
ensure the safety
because
of members
now
of
they
Congress
know
they
that
can,
their
at some point,
voices
whether it's today or tomorrow,
have been
reconvene
heard.
to hold this extraordinary session that was
So
supposed
if
to
you
be
stand
held.
up for yourself,
Frankly,
and,
to this
and you know,
point,
this
4
goes
o'clock
back
Eastern,
to, I want to
would
think
have
it was
been 3 hours
Kanye
into
West.
the
Everybody was
proceedings.
mad with
They
him when he
probably
said,
would have
how
just
in the
been
world
reconvening
do you stay
after the
enslaved
2 hours
for
of
how many
debate
years? And
over
it's
the
how many
challenge
of
to the state
you?
of Arizona's results, and would have
Because you
been
didn't
moving
vote,
out
you
for
didn't
the
talk,
alphabet
well, you weren't
Georgia.
allowed to vote.
Expected to
I'm
be
sorry,
Once
you weren't
again,
allowed to vote.
Trump,
But once
the
you
current
stand
president of the
up
United States, being coaxed
together,
by
you know, you can make your
leaders,
mouth fried
aides to
chicken, but
address the
once you
nation.
stand up
Ben
together
Tracy at the White House
and do it
reporting
together,
we've seen
and people see
a
you ain't
camera
having
being
it no
set up,
more,
no
this is what
clear
happens.
sign yet that we may hear from the
I'll be
president.
back.
The vice